John here with Flutterfetti. Today I want to talk about the tabletop cannon, tabletop launcher. This is a cute little cannon, small enough to be hidden almost anywhere. There's two different ways to detonate this cannon. One would be wireless with a transmitter, and I'll show you that in just a few moments. And the other way is using actually a wired push button. All depends exactly how you want to use it. If you want to stick it somewhere where wiring would not be feasible, then you would use the transmitter. We'll fire it both ways in just a few moments. The cannon itself is made up of a couple of parts. First off, you have the receiver, which attaches to a dongle cord that comes out of the valve. Then you have the barrel, which is actually on a quick disconnect. There's a little outer ring here. You pull it down, you insert the barrel, you let the ring slide up, and you make sure the barrel is locked in. So the barrel comes off. The reason for that is it's easier to load it that way, and you can have multiple barrels preloaded if you want to do a multi-shot, so to speak. This barrel is loaded. It has a cap on it. This one is not. I'm going to go ahead and load this barrel so you can see exactly how it goes. We have speed loads that conveniently fit this barrel perfectly. All we have to do to load it is to take the cap off the speed load. This one happens to be Mylar, and we just simply dump it into the barrel. Easy, quick, really, it's like great. I love it. We have caps that go on top of it. These are waxed cardboard caps that are made for us. They're formed already, and they fit very tightly on top of the barrel. You put it on, push it down so it's tight. Take a piece of tape. This is a specialty tape, a black masking type of tape, a little bit different. You can use masking tape if you wish. We sell rolls of this for $5, so you might as well just go ahead and get the right stuff. I'm going to put the tape around the side of the barrel, catching the apron of the cap. Not going to be putting any tape over the top of the cap itself. We want the cap to break open. This cap breaks exactly at 75 psi, and it provides the boom and the height for the shot itself. We're loaded and ready to go here now. We've got our product inside. This will shoot streamers, small streamers, or Flutterfetti, rectangular cut Flutterfetti, Mylar, or tissue. This happens to be Flutterfetti. To go ahead and set it up, we would pull that ring down I mentioned earlier, insert the barrel, make sure that ring snaps back up, and that barrel is thoroughly connected. You want to pull on it and make sure it will not come out. Then we would attach our receiver. There's two ports on top. One is a 3-prong, one is a 2-prong. So, just take a look in there and take a look. The dongle coming off the valve is a 2-prong. Lightly put it in and turn it. Just turn it until it falls into the slot. When it falls into the slot, push down. There's an outer retaining ring. You just turn it until it locks. Now you're connected. To fire it with the wired system, which I'll do, you would simply attach the 3-prong into the 3-prong connector, same thing. Lightly turn it until it falls in. There's a little keyway, a little groove, and you want to go ahead and line that groove up. And then put the locking nut down, and it's thoroughly attached. CO2 would go in. There's a receptacle on the side of it. The CO2 simply screws in. Now this is, when you screw the CO2 in, you screw it in until it hits resistance. It's not punctured at this particular point, but the CO2 cartridge is in place. If you want to do that a couple of days before your event, that's fine. I wouldn't puncture it, that early, but I would go ahead and screw it in, and you always know where the cartridge is. And then I would screw the cartridge in and energize the launcher as close to your cue as possible. If you can get to it an hour or two before the event, if it's hidden in a flower arrangement or something, then I would go ahead on in and screw the CO2 down. Now you're going to hear a hiss. Well, that one didn't hiss. Sometimes they hiss a little bit. It's okay. There you go, nice and tight. Make sure you're all the way in. There'll be a slight temperature difference, not a lot, maybe a degree or two. It's very difficult to sense it, but you can. And what that means is that the cartridge is now punctured and the CO2 is moved up against the valve. When it moves, it actually turns a little cold. This one's chilly and ready to go. To fire it at this particular point, I would simply turn the receiver on. In this particular case, the receiver is acting as a power pack. The power to fire the valve is actually coming from here. No electricity. You don't need to plug it in anywhere. There are two buttons on the receiver power pack, one up in the top between the two ports and one on the front. We press and hold the top button and then press the one on the front and let them both go. Now let's see. There you go. You'll notice that there's a little LED light is flashing in there. I'm not sure you can quite see that, but it is flashing. And what that basically means is the power pack is turned on and getting energy. Now when I push this button, it's going to go bang. It's just a simple little push button. Okay, we're all loaded up. The barrel is loaded, the CO2 is in, the power pack is turned on, the LED light is flicking and blinking. And all we do is push the button. And that's how the tabletop works on a wired basis. Okay, the other way to fire the tabletop is with a transmitter that I have in my hand. And of course, the power pack also is a receiver. It's a dual purpose. It's a receiver and power pack. The transmitter will come to you programmed in the sequence that you want it to fire. If you want it to fire one table, 1, 2, 1 here, 1 there, whatever it may be, you tell us exactly the way you want it. If you want a duration of 1 second between each cannon or a half a second or all at once, we can make it do pretty much anything that you want it to do. When you receive the cannon, there will be a sheet with a telephone number and a name printed on it. That is our 24/7 complimentary tech line. I would suggest when you get the cannon, whether you're going to go ahead and use the wired setup or the wireless setup, that you call the number and talk to one of our techs. He'll sit and walk you right through the entire setup, exactly what to do and how to fire it. Using the transmitter is quite easy. You would turn it on, you enter an unlock code, you would go to the fire sequence, you would push send, and the cannons would automatically follow that pre-program that we've done for you before we send it to you. That's pretty much the tabletop. A unique small little cannon that can be hidden anywhere. The surprise factor on this cannon is really quite overwhelming. This thing fires and it just comes out of flower arrangements or wherever you've hidden it, and people are just not expecting it. So it really sort of blows them away, no pun intended. Anyway, thank you very much for using our product. Thank you very much for using Flutterfetti. Don't forget to call our tech line if there's any questions whatsoever. We hope that your event is a huge success. Thanks again. Bye-bye.